Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel. Global financial markets are showing signs of recovery after the U.S. stock market had its worst day of the year. Now investors want to know, was it just a correction or shades of things to come? Gary Lane has more.
Markets in Europe and Asia bounced back overnight after experiencing heavy losses Thursday. In the U.S., the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted 353 points.
It's like a perfect storm out there this week.
The fall came after Federal Reserve Board Chairman Ben Bernanke announced the Fed may start pulling back from its economic stimulus efforts. That will bring higher interest rates, and some investors fear it will harm economic growth. Housing prices are increasing in many parts of the country. That's good news for sellers, but buyers are now paying 1% more for a mortgage. Interest rates on most home loans are now up to more than 4%. Commodity prices fell Thursday. Gold plunged by nearly $88 to $1,286 an ounce, and silver fell 8.3%. Oil had its biggest decline since last November, dropping to $95.40 per barrel in New York, and gasoline futures fell more than 3%. Some economists say the public should not be alarmed because the economy is improving. 175,000 jobs were added last month. So far this year, the stock market is up more than 10%. Most analysts believe Thursday's market slide was just a correction, not a sign of more volatility to come. They believe the markets are simply adjusting, coming to terms with a new reality, as the period of U.S. government stimulus may be nearing an end.
Our economy is getting better, and now it's time for us to see how we can do it on our own. Once we get through that period, I think we're going to realize that we're going to be okay and things are going to get back to normal.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
President Obama names a new FBI director to replace outgoing Chief Robert Mueller today. James Comey is a former Justice Department official in the George W. Bush administration. He's well known for standing against intrusive government surveillance in the fight against terrorism. The White House hopes that Comey's bipartisan background and 20 years of law enforcement will help smooth his confirmation in the Senate. The Christian ministry Exodus International is closing its doors after nearly 40 years. Exodus tried to help gay men and women through reparative therapy, which holds that sexual orientation can be changed with God's help. In an announcement on its website, Exodus President Alan Chambers apologized for promoting reparative therapy. The statement says, in part, I am sorry for the pain and hurt many of you have experienced. I am sorry that some of you spent years working through the shame and guilt you felt when your attractions didn't change. You can read the entire statement from Alan Chambers at our website, cbnnews.com. A Christian college in Pennsylvania is exempt from Obamacare's contraception coverage mandate for now. A federal judge said that Geneva College could exclude coverage of birth control and the morning after pill from health insurance plans it offers students. The ruling was issued this week because the school only had until Thursday to pick a health plan for next year. The injunction will remain in effect until there is a ruling on the school's lawsuit challenging the contraceptive mandate. A plan to tighten security along America's border with Mexico got bipartisan support in Congress Thursday. After weeks of negotiations, Senate lawmakers agreed to amend a bill to include enhanced border security measures in exchange for immigration reform. George Thomas has the details of the plan.
For Republican lawmakers, increased security was the deal breaker in supporting a Senate immigration bill.
We don't have control of our southwestern border.
Some of the key provisions in the legislation include a so-called surge, placing 20,000 new federal agents along America's southern border, adding 700 more miles of fence along the U.S.-Mexico border, and buying new surveillance drones to track illegal border crossing, all at a price tag of some $30 billion over a decade. For Democratic lawmakers, creating a pathway for undocumented immigrants to get U.S. citizenship is key.
These 11 million people play a crucial role in our economy and a vital role in our communities. These 11 million people need a pathway to get right with the law.
Under the compromise, immigrants living in the U.S. illegally would be put on a pathway to citizenship as the added security is implemented. But green cards would not be handed out until the work is complete. The so-called Gang of 8 senators involved in the negotiations are hoping the new security measures will persuade skeptical Republican lawmakers to pass the bill before it heads to the House. Speaker of the House John Boehner said this week it will take some bipartisanship for the Senate immigration bill to pass.
Any immigration reform bill that is going to go into law ought to have a majority of both parties support if we're really serious about making that happen.
George Thomas, CBN News.
As legislators fought over the immigration amendment, Hispanic Christians came to Washington to pray and give thanks to God. They came from across the country for a 3-day conference to talk about issues affecting the Latino community. The event culminated with a powerful prayer breakfast. Paul Strand reports.
Music and prayer filled the room at the National Hispanic Prayer Breakfast. Hundreds gathered to pray for the nation, their leaders and communities, world peace, and more.
We know that there is power in number, and the Bible says that a three bonded cord is a lot stronger than a 2 bonded one. And I think that, that is true in every sense of the word.
One topic on everyone's mind.
It's been so many years since President Bush declared that we needed to create some comprehensive immigration reform, and now President Obama is in his 2nd term, and he promised us in his 1st term that he would do something about it. Nothing happened. We're in his 2nd term.
Will it pass? If so, when?
We spoke with Senator Reid, and we're hoping that by July 4th, the Senate will have an agreement. We spoke with leaders of the Republican House, Mr. Cantor and his leadership team, and they're going to be picking it up right away. So it is our hope and prayer that we will have immigration reform before the summer's over.
Even though the measure appears to be gaining steam, it could still take time.
Romans chapter 2, verse 12 tells us, rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer. I can't think of another community that Romans describes better than yours.
Immigration wasn't the only thing on people's minds.
Education is the key. I'm talking about education in terms of learning the language effectively, learning a profession, so you learn the skills to be paid a little more money, and you can live, at a better income level, better standard of living, and therefore improving the possibilities for your children to do better in life.
And there was one common theme at the event.
We live in a world that is in chaos, and the truth is the church is there to present hope, and we're here to represent the arms, the feet of Jesus.
Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.
Massive flooding could prompt widespread evacuations across Western Canada today. Officials say as many as 100,000 people in Calgary may soon be forced to leave their homes. 6 communities along the Elbow River have already received mandatory evacuation orders. Mudslides caused by torrential rains shut down the Trans-Canada Highway, and massive flooding has washed out roads and bridges in Alberta. 1 person is reported missing. It's been 1 month since an EF5 tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma. 24 people were killed and thousands of homes and buildings were destroyed. Operation Blessing has been in the area since the storm hit. OB crews continue to help residents clean up debris and repair damage. Volunteers are also offering emotional and spiritual support through hugs and prayer. Volunteers take time to pray for families at a memorial set up at an elementary school where several children were killed. Residents say they're thankful for the help.
A man gave me this cross. He made it from the scrap from the tornado. And I appreciate that so much, and it means everything to me. And he was a Operation Blessing volunteer. I just want to say thank you to everybody, to Operation Blessing, and God bless. God bless you.
For more on how you can help Operation Blessing with their efforts in Oklahoma, you can visit our website, cbnnews.com. Coming up, meet Iran's new leader. Some say he's a moderate who wants to reform the Islamic regime, but others say he's just the same as the old boss.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? And this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
From CBN.
Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No.
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. Plus 2 copies to share with others. All for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah. Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry. Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is Risen. Available now.
An Iranian court convicted a group of Christians for being part of a house church. The group included 4 men, a woman, and her teenage son. Among other charges, they face propaganda against the Iranian regime, disrupting national security, having contact with foreign ministries, and spreading Christianity. According to Mohabbat News, the men were sentenced to 44 months in prison. The woman and her son each received a suspended 2-year prison sentence. After 8 years under Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, Iran has a new president. His name is Syed Hassan Rouhani. But who is he? And does he represent the change the West hopes for? Here's Chris Mitchell from Jerusalem.
Iran's new leader is Western educated, speaks 6 languages, with a long resume in Iran's Islamic Revolution. Unlike the abrasive Ahmadinejad, he presents a softer image. His election led some Western leaders and media to brand Iran's new president a moderate who can change Iran.
Nothing is going to change. There's going to be a new style. There's going to be an Oriental bazaar.
Hebrew University professor Moshe Sharon says Rouhani differs from Ahmadinejad in style, but not in substance.
You should expect in the coming few months some kind of an overtures by this nice-looking man. He's got a fatherly face, speaks the right language, speaks the language which he knows that the West wants to hear, while exactly continuing with the plan of Iran to enrich uranium.
He's a clergy, as I said. He's a Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin, which is a high degree of clergy, not Ayatollah, but pretty high in the ranks of Shiite Islam.
Iranian expert Tamar Gindan says a cartoon posted on Facebook shows the essence of Rouhani's election, where he's shown painting a beautiful Iranian missile.
It looks much better, but it's still a missile. And he said himself that they're not going to stop the centrifuges.
While the president is the face of Iran, The real power lies with Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei.
Don't think that Rouhani is going to develop his own policy. There's not going to be such a thing. He's going to present a policy which is going to continue to be created by the Supreme Leader.
Those policies include Iran's nuclear program, its support of Syria, and an alliance with Russia. Rouhani also has a long history in a regime that persecutes Christians, tortures dissidents, and built the world's largest terror network. When Rouhani served as Iran's chief negotiator, he boasted that Iran's nuclear program advanced during his negotiations. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu calls that game talk and enrich, which allows Iran's nuclear program breathing room. Some believe he might be more dangerous than Ahmadinejad.
He can be more dangerous from this point of view that he is going to say things which you want to hear.
Sharon warns the West might be headed to an unfamiliar Oriental Bazaar.
Everybody who was in Oriental Bazaar and know the negotiations in Oriental Bazaar knows that there are certain rules. Unfortunately, the West doesn't know the rules.
While the West takes stock of Iran's new president, both Gindin and Sharon say the centrifuges will keep spinning, while Iran draws closer to a nuclear bomb.
The danger is that because he's nicer, he can buy more time. And then it might be too late.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Up next, it's being called the cancer killer, and it's saving lives with virtually no side effects. Learn more about this revolutionary new treatment next.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
The American Medical Association now recognizes obesity as a disease. The group says the move will help change the way the medical community tackles this complex issue that affects approximately 1 in 3 Americans. The number of obese adults more than doubled from 1980 to 2010, and analysts believe that if trends continue, the percentage of obese Americans could rise from 36% today to 42% by the end of the year 2030. Imagine a free cancer treatment with virtually no side effects. Well, it's real and it shows amazing promise. Its supporters say sugar is cancer food, so if you cut out the carbs, you can kill off the cancer. And they have some amazing success stories to back them up. Lori Johnson has the story.
Dr. Fred Hatfield is an impressive guy. He's a powerlifting champion, author, millionaire businessman with a beautiful wife. But he'll tell you his greatest accomplishment is killing his cancer, just in the nick of time.
The doctors gave me 3 months to live because of widespread metastatic cancer in my skeletal structure. 3 months. 3 different doctors told me that same thing.
It's a horrible, horrible feeling to have someone tell you that the person that you love only has 3 months to live and you're not going to be with him anymore.
While Fred was preparing to die, he heard about an anti-cancer diet, also known as metabolic therapy. With nothing to lose, he gave it a try and was shocked when it actually worked.
And the cancer was gone completely. To this day, there's no trace of it, and it's been over a year.
Although it wasn't easy, Fred stopped eating carbohydrates because carbohydrates turn into glucose inside your body. Cancer cells love glucose and need it so badly that if you stop giving it to them, they die.
And it just absolutely amazes me that medical science is just now finding this out.
Fred's recovery was not a surprise to Dr. Dominic D'Agostino. His team of scientists at the University of South Florida study metabolic therapy. When they removed carbohydrates from the diets of lab mice, the mice survived highly aggressive metastatic cancer, even better than when they were treated with chemotherapy.
We have dramatically increased survival with metabolic therapy. So we think it's important to get this information out.
And it's not just lab mice. He's also seen similar success in people, lots of them.
I've been in correspondence with a number of people, probably at least a dozen people, and over the last 1.5 to 2 years, and all of them are still alive, so despite the odds. And so this is very encouraging.
All cells, including cancer cells, are fueled by glucose. But if you deprive them of glucose, they switch to the alternate fuel ketone bodies, all except cancer cells. A defect prevents them from making the switch to using ketone bodies as fuel, and therefore cancer cells can only survive on glucose. All other cells can use either glucose or ketone bodies.
Your normal cells have the metabolic flexibility to adapt from using glucose to using ketone bodies. But cancer cells lack this metabolic flexibility, so we can exploit that.
People like Fred, who deprive their cells of glucose and fuel them with ketone bodies instead, eat what's known as a ketogenic diet. It consists of almost 0 carbohydrates, but lots of natural protein and fat.
You can go online and there's just cookbooks and, it's clean eating, just very clean eating. None of the sugars, the salts, the trash food.
Natural proteins are ones in their original form, but processed meats like cold cuts and hot dogs are off limits because often carbohydrates have been added to them. Natural fats are in their original form, like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and also coconut oil. But stay away from trans fats such as shortening or margarine, which are man-made.
Some people are afraid to try the ketogenic diet because they think all this fat is bad for their heart. But more doctors are now saying natural fat is actually good for you, even natural saturated fat like coconut oil and butter.
Doctors like cardiologist Stephen Sinatra.
Is cholesterol the major cause of heart disease? Absolutely not.
In his book, The Great Cholesterol Myth, he says the real cause of heart disease is inflammation, which comes from eating too many carbohydrates.
We need to coach our patients and empower them about the dangers of sugar. Unfortunately, they're not hearing that. They're hearing the converse, the dangers of fat. Fat is healthy for you, as long as you avoid trans fats.
So by cutting back on carbohydrates and eating natural fats and proteins, you could improve your heart health and even wipe out cancer. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new Grip Go, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and Grip Go grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of Grip Go. You can get the amazing Grip Go with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete Grip Go systems for just $14.95.
To order Grip Go for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison and shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes now.
Finally, an Oregon grandma is taking matters into her own hands after thieves ran off with some of her property.
When I was a child, they called me a pit bull. If I didn't have a bad knee, I'm sure I would have caught him.
Coy Talonen is the founder of a neighborhood watch group called the Glock Block. She started the group after a robber stole a statue from her front yard.
I just couldn't believe that he'd be so brazen. My statue today, your child tomorrow. Even though we're Magnum, Glock had a better ring to it. If you do come in my home, I will shoot you. When you do the right thing and you step up to protect people, you put your life in danger.
Coy now says more than a dozen other neighbors have joined. And finally today, God-fearing daredevil Nick Wallenda is at it again. You remember this sight from last year, the high wire artist making his way across Niagara Falls on national TV, constantly praying and giving thanks to God. Now Wallenda is tackling a new challenge. On Sunday, he'll walk more than a quarter mile across the Grand Canyon. Wallenda will stroll 1,500 feet above the Colorado River and says that once again, he'll be praying and praising his way across. The event will be broadcast live on the Discovery Channel. Wallenda says God has given him an amazing platform and he'll use it to give God glory. Wish him all the best with that. Well, that's going to do it for the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Check us out on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us next time. Have a great day and a blessed weekend.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.